back at Rock Hill Country Club for my first Hootie Series tournament of the year. This is a series of local tournaments. Super fun. Always look forward to these ones, but great drive here off the first. Before this tournament, I was really struggling with my swing, but I went back to a swing thought and said, I'm going to commit to this all day. I'm just going to think of that one thing. And it was nice because I kind of just got to play golf and not have to worry about my swing. And it took a lot of the stress away from having to worry about how I was hitting the ball, where it was going. So, but yeah, great drive on this first hole. Had to hit a little punch underneath this tree, but it's only about 100 yards, so I just took a gap wedge and put it back in my stance and just hit down on it. But good look for birdie. These greens are usually very slopey, very fast, so speed is most important. Hit this one a little harder than I would have liked. These greens just tend to roll out for longer too, so this comebacker was really important, but put a good stroke on it and walked out of the first hole with par. Second hole is pretty straight away. I rehearsed this all day, this like putting my right foot back and really trying to get through the ball, keep that right hip back. And that really helped me. Good strike here. Pretty straight away par 3, so not too much trouble. If anything, being right or short is fine. Just barely short of that pin there, so pretty easy chip to get up and down. Here I believe I used a sand wedge, if I'm correct. But honestly, this might be one of my favorite chips. Just a nice little toe down, high shoulder chip shot with some spin on it, and it rolls out a little bit. It's rolled out a little bit more than I would have liked. It scared the hole, so I almost chipped it in for birdie, but little work left for par. This one just didn't break at all. So kind of disappointing not getting up and down from such a simple spot, but not a bad tee shot. This par 5, the drive is a little bit tricky. Not too tricky though. If you overcomplicate it, then things can not go so great. But honestly, there's no out of bounds off the tee, so just anything over that bunker there is pretty good. Kind of by that big green tree on the right. Didn't have the best lie here, so can't really go for it. But laying up in this hole isn't bad. Just cut a 6-iron here through that gap of trees, and we're in the fairway. I can't tell you actually how important it is that when you do lay up, you still lay up in the fairway, because I feel like it's so easy to be like, oh, I'll just hit a layup shot and you're in the first cut or the rough. And it's like, yeah, it's not a hard shot, but just having a guaranteed good lie is just such an advantage. And I feel like laying up in the fairway no matter what, it's really easier than, like, I feel like people don't do that when it should be really easy. But really took my time reading this putt, mainly the speed. The line could have played a little bit higher, but having like 4 feet, 3 feet for par from that length of a putt, especially on these undulated greens, I'm happy to tap in for par there. Shorter par 4, it's a dogleg left. There's bunkers up the left side too. So just trying to put something out there with a 3-wood or a 5-wood, just a fairway wood. I've been playing a draw lately. That's just kind of my natural ball flight, so I aimed right at those trees and it actually went pretty dang straight. So this one, I don't love like having to hit recovery shots, but I kind of like the process of like picking a line and shaping something, and when I do actually execute it, it feels really good. So even though I went long left here, which I was surprised I did go long considering my position, I'm happy with how I got out of that spot. And really, this chip wasn't too crazy. I had a really good lie. It's uphill. I have a ton of green to work with. I thought because of the speed of this green, I hit this chip good. I landed it exactly where I wanted to, and I thought it would take off more and use that slope there, but it didn't come back at all. So I was kind of confused. I'm like, I can't believe that slope didn't take it even just a tad bit. So really, I feel like I've gotten better at, I have, 15 feet here for par. Obviously, Be great if it goes in, but just trying to secure a 2-putt. Longer par 4, but if you hit a good drive, you have the ledge in, so nothing crazy here. Just teeing up over the water. The only trouble here really is hazard on the right. But I start this up the left side and it just comes back to the right. So really good drive. Really happy with how this turned out. This green, you can be aggressive when going for the pin, but honestly, playing something to the front left and just guaranteeing yourself a putt is ideal here. But I hit a good shot, didn't have too far from the hole. This is a pretty makeable attempt for birdie. I hit this putt pretty hard actually, looking back now. But luckily these comebackers aren't too difficult, so as long as we're giving ourselves chances on these holes, that's all that really matters. Because having tap-in pars all day is, I'd love that. I wish I could play every round like that. This par 3 yardage here can get a little tricky because it's downhill. I feel like if anything, the miss is right because it'll just slope back down to the left. I've missed over that bunker on the right and it's been good. This 8-iron is just going right at the flag and it's looking so good. I'm glad that it got over that bunker on that slope left because it could come down. But a good shot. We're giving ourselves another look, so just trying to put a good read on this. Broke more than I thought. Broke harder too, so a little bit longer than I would have liked for par. But tap it in, move on. For some reason on this hole, driver is not the play. I mean, you could hit driver, but there's bunkers that kind of split the fairway down, like further down, so you don't want to have like too far in. But I kind of topped this fairway with, I don't know how, just a bad swing, I guess. So I don't even make it to the fairway here. And really, I'm just trying to think, if I can walk out of here with a par, I'm happy. Laid up just before the bunkers here. As you can see, like those bunkers up there on the left are reachable with drivers, so if you go too far you risk having to lay up and be in a kind of a weird position. Hit this one a little lower than I would have liked, but it rolled out a lot considering I had still like 230, 220 in. I think it was actually 240. But just being up by the green and having a chip to get up and down for par, considering where I was off the tee, and this was a good chip. Like, I read it thoroughly, I picked where I wanted to land it, and it just rolled out way more than I thought. So kind of a difficult putt for par, especially since I've had a history of hitting it too hard and having a huge comebacker left, because these greens slope a lot. These greens are really fast. So kind of an unfortunate bogey considering it's a par 5, but with that drive it's kind of like whatever, move on. They did have this tee box playing a little bit back on this hole. If you can see later, there's bunkers on the right side, but honestly you could drive it into the other fairway on the right here. This is a great drive, by the way, and still be fine. So I'm just trying to start something at those bunkers and draw it back, but we hit it pretty much perfect. Here's where I'm kind of disappointed though, where I feel like my game could be better. I just chunked this wedge and it's like I have 100 yards in, less than 120, and I chunk it to 40 yards. Like, really? I put myself in the perfect position on a tough tee shot, and this is what I have. And this isn't an easy up and down either. I hit this chip good and it just rolls and rolls and rolls. So need to be better when it comes to scoring, because a perfect drive turned into hitting an okay chip and then hitting a putt too hard, and now I'm basically struggling for bogey from the middle of the fairway, and I barely missed his putt, so I doubled the hole from 100 yards in. So that's pretty disappointing. Just stuff like that. If I get rid of that, then those 82s will turn into 77s, and just overall my scores will be better. But what's always nice here at this course is to finish off the front 9 with a drive that fits my eye. Just a nice little power drop in the middle. It was a little lower than I would have liked, but it's perfect positioning, so I'll have a wedge in. I only had about like a 95, just under 100-yard shot. I hit this sandwich really good. I've noticed on these swings I'm getting through it a lot better. I thought that it would come back off that slope a little bit, and it's trying, but doesn't quite get there. Probably have about like 12 feet for birdie, so good look. And this putt was really fast, so just barely missed it on the left side, but played 3 good shots on that hole and tapped in for par, so can't complain. Moving on to this back 9, this stretch of holes can be really tough if you make bad swings or you put yourself in bad positions. This hole is really far downhill. You don't need much off the tee. I don't even think this is a 4-iron. This is like a 5 or 6-iron. But I hit it good, put it where I need it to be. Out of bounds is right, so a lot of these holes on this back 9, there's OB lining either one side of the fairway or both sides of the fairway. On a little downslope here, I only had like, I believe 140 ends, but I just choked down on an 8 because honestly, being a little deep in this green or being middle, it's weird because it plays really far downhill, but I feel like it doesn't quite, like, it doesn't feel that way. Or I guess with the downslope, I think it takes some off. I don't know. But, and especially since this green is so severe with the slope, like running off the edges, having this for par and tapping in for par on a tough hole is nice. You can see kind of towards the middle that tree that's all the way on the right. That's my target line every time I play this hole. Good drive, put myself in a really good position. Heck, it even faded a little bit, which is really nice. But we have a downhill, like 170-ish shot. This is kind of a choke down 7, just trying to cut it a little bit at the hole. This green honestly isn't too complicated. I've been short a couple times and got up and down, so having a putt and being on the front of the green. Just honestly having birdie putts in general, I don't care if they're 40 feet or if they're 15 feet, having these kinds of putts, it just takes so much stress away when you're trying to score, especially if you have a rocky front 9 and you just kind of want to stay like steady cruising to break 80. Having these kind of holes where it's a good drive, hit a green regulation 2-putt, I'd take that all day. Here with the water, and usually there's wind on this hole that plays a big part in club choice, so if anything, being left is good, but really going too far left or even missing right is not good. So I aimed at the pin and played a little draw and just ended up being on the left side of the green, but we're putting, so we'll take it. But this is a kind of tricky putt over the slope, because if you hit it too hard, then it's flying by the hole and you have 8 feet coming back. But if you don't hit it hard enough, then it's just not the best. And this actually broke a lot more than I thought. So having this for my putt for par, I mean, I can make this putt. It's simple, but it's just barely scratching the lip is kind of annoying, considering I hit a good shot on a tougher par 3 approach. But 3 putts never feel good. For some reason, they had these tees way up, and this is a pretty tough drive. Probably one of the drives I don't look forward to every time I play this course, because there's out of bounds up the entire right side. And I've hit driver in the past, and I've hit it good, and I can get there in 2. But honestly, just hitting a 4-iron and laying up again with that same club and having a wedge in, I'll take it, especially since if I miss, I'll be in a better spot. Good layup here with a long iron. just trying to put myself in the fairway, have at least less than like a pitching wedge in, because I don't really mind if I have pitching wedge or gap wedge into a par 5, because it's almost like just any other par 4. Obviously, these are the gettable holes where you want to score and make birdies, but sometimes being too aggressive is not worth it. Out of this first cut, here's what I mean about laying up in the fairway. Just, I think the wrong kind of shot and club for this, because I know being long is bad, but just having to read a lie when, you know, you could be in the fairway and not have to worry about it. Hit a lob wedge here. It just kind of popped up on me. I knew it wouldn't really, like, I knew it'd check, but I didn't think it'd check that much. And just leaving this putt short, like getting a bogey in a par 5 like this because I hit a bad approach shot after laying up, it's just kind of frustrating. Considering I also had a pretty easy chip to get up and down as well. See, this is where knowing your ball flight is really important, especially your alignment. Like, I hit this pretty good, but it's going a little further left than I would have liked, and actually just barely clips those trees. So now I'm like, oh, I hope I can even find my ball, but I'm still in the fairway. But I just have so far in, and this was just a dumb choice here. Trying to hit a 6-iron off a downslope, I ended up thinning it into the water. There's a hazard in front of the green. This second shot is hard enough being in good position from the fairway, but I really took my time after this drop, and I made sure that I hit it good. I knew that there was a backstop. I didn't mean it to play it this well, but I knew there was a backstop, so I had some room to go a little bit long. It actually just comes back way off it, and I have like 2 feet left for par, like basically tapping
shot.
So what could have been a bigger number on this hole, only being a bogey. Yeah, I want to get some birdies and shave off those extra strokes, but can't be mad. This hole is a little tricky too, this par 5. Not because of, like, you know, there is trouble off the tee. The only thing that is worrying is there's out of bounds if you go too far or if you go right. So you have to hit a draw, or at least like take some off of it and kind of hit a fairway finder out there. But I put myself in a good spot. I can go for it. I think I just end up laying up here with like a 6-iron because the ball's above my feet. The lie is kind of meh. But we put a good strike on it. We're in good position to make birdie. Can't complain. Here's where my game could probably, like, this used to be like a really bad weakness in my game where I couldn't even feel confident enough, like, making solid contact and putting spin on the ball from like 40 to 50 yards. But that's just a poor shot. Yeah, it's on the green, but I have like 40 feet for birdie. And it's like, if I'm going to hit a great drive and hit a great layup, I got to give myself a chance at least. Or at least scare the hole on the way up there. So this putt's just really slow. And then this one was weird because I thought it would break a certain way, and it just doesn't. And I'm like, I thought I put a good roll on it. I put good enough speed on it. So a 3-putt on a par 5 for bogey is kind of disappointing. But here, these next 2 holes, I'd say these last 3 holes are good finishing, scoreable holes. Because like this one is pretty easy. I think it's a 7-iron or 6-iron tee. This I just chunked so bad. It's the cart path. I don't know what that was, but I had a decent enough lie to where I could open the face and get it up in the air if I wanted. You can see me aiming left, and I'm trying to hit it over these trees. And I get it over the trees. Great shot. Committed to it. I mean, it's not crazy like to get it over these, but honestly, after that last shot, just being able to be confident enough to hit that. A year ago, I wouldn't have that shot in my bag, so I'm really happy with that outcome. And here on the downslope, use a lob wedge, checked up a lot faster than I thought it would. But we carefully read the putt, and we finally make a par after a streak of like 4 or 5 bogeys in a row. So yeah, I believe it was 4 bogeys in a row. So finally getting par. This yardage is always in between for me. It's never really a full swing shot because I think you see me choking down with it like an 8-iron. But I flare it out to the right. I found it easier for me to aim right, and if anything, if I hit a draw, great. If I hit a pull fade, cool. But I wish I hit some practice bunker shots before the round. I just totally gave up on this one. However, this one's a lot better. Got it out. Have it tapping for bogey. It's just like, I mean, a bogey isn't bad, especially after I dumped a chip in the bunker, but it's like, why don't I just do that the first time? So, but last hole of the day, uphill par 4, green up on the left. That bunker on the right, it is reachable, so you don't really need a full driver swing. That's kind of a sling and draw. Not the ideal ball flight, not the best ball flight. But we're in the fairway, and we have a wedge in. Just my calculation on this wedge shot, the ball was really far above my feet. I thought that it would take a lot off it. I'm usually always short in this hole, and I know that being short is a really hard up and down, but I was actually almost long. If you go too far, you're out of bounds. So, but with this pin location and the slope, I basically had to aim 90 degrees out to the left, but this is such a good, like, this is exactly how I envisioned it and wanted to hit it. And I'm like, please go in. Just barely misses. So I have like 6 feet, probably 5 feet for par. And it would have been so nice to end the day with a good up and down after having such a hard chip shot, but it just stays on the right edge, and we end up tapping in for bogey to finish the day. Just had a streak of bogeys that killed me, had some 3 putts. But honestly, going into this round, I wasn't feeling great with my swing, so to find something that worked for me and use it all day and just worry about playing golf, happy with this outcome, happy with this tournament. But we still got work to do.